What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is me, Joe, the Casual Card Gamer, and today we're going to be looking at a deck that is not Zorga. I know I said that I was going to do Zorga last week, but I changed my mind last minute because I was having a headache trying to figure out how I want to build the deck. So we're looking at Prison this week, so let's get straight into the deck profile. So, first things first, of course, our ride deck. We do have Aurora Battle Princess Ruby Red. If you go second, draw a card in SP. Then Aurora Battle Princess Kyanite Blue. So when she's placed, you can search your deck for a prison, add it to your hand, and if you play her as a rearguard, then you can counterblast one, soul blast one. If one or more of your opponent's units are imprisoned, and you can draw a card. Then we have Risat Pink. When she is placed, you can basically imprison one card from your opponent's hand. And as a rear guard, if your opponent has at least one or more, sorry, I thought it was two, one or more cards in their prison, then she gets plus 2k. And of course, the Lady of the Week, we have Aurora Battle Princess Seraph Snow. When you have one of your opponent's units arrested, she gets plus 10. Then if they have 3 or more, she gets an extra drive check, which is really easy. And Vanguard or Rearguard, once per turn, counterblast one, choose 2 of your opponent's rearguards and imprison them. So that is Seraph Snow. And moving into the main deck, we have 3 other copies of Seraph Snow and 3 copies of Twisting Bulldoze. Now, I had the choice between the Melon Aurora Battle Princess or this, and I ended up going with Twisting Bulldoze because the extra 5k, making it 23k by himself or 33k by itself on a Persona Ride turn, is really, really good. Even with the new front trigger giving plus 5k, they would still need something else to properly guard this when it attacks on a Persona Ride turn. So that's why I have Twisting Bulldoze there. Plus the deck generates a pretty healthy amount of soul, even though there is quite a few outlets that use Soul Blast. I think that this isn't that bad. And that is it for the grade 3s. Now next, of course, the best piece of support, or maybe second best depending on who you ask, I guess, is Aurora Battle Princess Perio Turquoise. We also have 4 copies of Agua Rouge, and 4 copies of 24-hour coverage. So we'll start from left to right. So Perio Turquoise, her ability is during your turn, if your opponent has 2 or more cards in prison, then she gets plus 5k. Then whenever a unit is brought out on bail, they get minus 5k when they do. Now, Agua Rouge, if your opponent has 2 or more imprisoned cards, she gets plus 5k and 10k shield, so she's a good attacker and good shield as well. And when she's placed, you can Soul Blast one, imprison one of your opponent's front row rear guards. So that's nice. And we have 24-hour coverage, so you Soul Blast one. If your opponent has 4 or more cards, they choose a card from their hand and imprison it. Then if 3 or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, choose one of your units, it gets plus 5k until end of turn. Really, really good for those stingy opponents that don't want to put things down on the field, or if you're playing against the random Phantom Blaster that just doesn't leave anything on the field after they attack. So those are our grade 2s. And our perfect guards, of course, for our grade 1s starting off. And we still run the 4 copies of Bulbul Mine. It is really good when trying to use Twisting Bulldoze, just because it does give you that Soul Blast and that Counter Blast off of its effect. So after it boosts, put into the soul, unflip a card. And we play 2 copies of Aurora Battle Princess Ruda and Azalea, just for the 13k boost. If it's behind a Turquoise or an Agua Rouge, then it goes up to 28k. So that's a nice number for a rearguard lane. And yeah, it was either that or running Shovel Studs, and for some reason I can't find my Shovel Studs. So There we go. And I just needed something that was costless in the deck that just powers up. So there's her. There's she. And we have 2 copies of the Galaxy Central Prison Galactus. I run 2 copies just because I don't want to accidentally draw one and then not be able to proc Kyanite Blue skill. And then if I want to play, I can play more than one, get the extra 3 souls for all the soul blasting that goes on in the deck. So those are our grade 1s. Now, moving into our Toriga. We have Eldo Breath, Star Dragon deity of Infinitude Eldo Breath. So you get the 100 mil, remove it from the game, draw a card, then your entire front row gets double their attack and their crits. So this is stupid amounts of fun when it does go off, but if you get perfect guarded and that's the only attack you have left, then that's kind of sad. But yeah, we run the 1 Eldo Breath, and we run 7 crits and 4 fronts and 4 heals. Now I run the 7 crits, 4 fronts because I want this deck to push as hard as possible, because for any of you who watch my streams, I play a lot against Woodland Docks, and he plays Prison predominantly. So one of the things that I've noticed is that I want to have more pushing power in this deck, just because it already does a really good job of sort of snuffing out your opponent in terms of just what they can put out on the field, because it'll just get removed, and it's a little more annoying than getting retired because they have to use resources to bring them back instead of just, you know, moving on with their lives, and their bonuses for having things in the prison. So the 7 crits does that really well, and of course Seraph Snow's triple drive does give you the extra card per turn, so having draw triggers isn't as important, at least from my understanding of how the deck is playing out. But yeah, of course, and the 4 new fronts, because 20k shield is wonderful, and our 4 heals because I like to live. I want to live in my games. But anyway, that is it for this week's deck profile. I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to do a stream this week for it, but as soon as I'm able to, I will get on it, and I will be playing as per usual. So that is it for the deck profile. I hope that you enjoyed, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave your comments and suggestions for future and current content down below. And yeah, I am Jelly the Casual Card Gamer.